Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. How are we all? Thank you so much for stopping on by. Oh, I've missed this. It's when was the last live? Friday, wasn't it? Sadly, I wasn't around Sunday evening. I couldn't get to the stream, so we missed our I-95 Iconic Journeys stream. So apologies for that. Hopefully that will resume again on Sunday. But we're back tonight with a real ops flight, another real world Easyjet flight from up in Inverness, Scotland, down to Bristol. I'm going to check out the new Bristol scenery as well. I'm a little late to the game here. The new Bristol scenery has been around a while now, but looking forward to checking that out. We are on VATSIM, and of course we are on live weather, most certainly not on live time. I think I've actually got this set to dawn, which should give us some nice views, but obviously it is not the dawn in the UK. It's currently nearly 10 to 8 p.m. Local time. But yeah, until they fix the light issue, I know I've said this before, but until they fix the lighting issue, I don't particularly want to fly on VATSIM. The fact that some aircraft don't show at all at the moment on VATSIM is bad enough without having no lights either. So good evening and welcome to everyone. Thank you for choosing to fly with us this evening. So a good evening to Jason Bushell, Wayne Vaughn. Hello guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Wayne, yeah, it's been 4 days. I've gone feral as well. It's nice to see you right at the start of the stream as well, Wayne. That's good. Earthmaster, Ivachivi, UNO, Drini, Roland Pierce, thank you so much for coming on board this evening. Rico87, Simon Smith's here, and I believe Nick. Nick, is that you in the British Airways? Thank you very much, guys, for popping on by. And we've also got Lynn and Zhao as well. And we've also got Jace on Facebook. Jace Bowen, yeah, so sorry we missed Sunday, my friend. And Marcus, hi mate, thank you for coming on by. So, as I said, we are on VATSIM. I actually don't think Scottish Control is online at the moment. We're kind of in our own, but we do have some control as we head on down the UK. So our flight this evening literally takes us almost in a direct southerly path all the way down the backbone of Britain. And as I'm talking, I've just realised I haven't even got my Navigraph charts open, so I need to just go ahead and get that. Otherwise, I haven't got a clue what we're doing. So just bear with me 10 seconds while that fires up. Then we'll go and get inside and fire up the aircraft. I actually think the aircraft is in a turnaround state. Yes, it is. And if I just look to the right of me, I think that's Nick. That has to be Nick. Flying in his lovely, beautiful British Airways that we're so used to seeing. And I think Nick said on the Discord server that he was going to fly with us this evening as well. Bristol is a horrible little airport with extortionate parking and drop-off charges. Hey, I don't care. I'm not going to be charged for flying there virtually. Lazarus, hello my friend, good to see you. HD is also here. Bonjour HD, hope you are well this evening. Peter, is this Inverness payware? No, this is completely default. John, nice to see you flying from your hometown. Oh wow, are you up in Inverness? Oh, lovely, great little part of the world. I have family up there, but I've never flown to see them. I should probably put that right one day. Anyway, before we get anything else done, and I even consider letting passengers on board, you guys have all got the operational flight plan. I've got that down here on my tablet. I've already looked through this, and I've already decided that there's the potential for the winds getting up down in Bristol, perhaps a little bit of icing en route, so that might need to be on, so that's a little bit of extra fuel, but nothing too major. So I'm going to plump for we're going to load 6 tons of fuel in total. So let's go ahead and get our fuel guys on that. So that's it, refueling is underway. Now refueling is underway as well. Let's start the APU and get that going. 1, 2, 3, and the APU start. Once that's on, we'll get the APU bleed going and packs, etc, etc. So most of the aircraft, as per usual, is all set up. I'm just going to turn up the standby instrument. That looks a little bit dark, doesn't it? Let's have a look at the current QNH then here in Inverness, which is 1010, same as it is in Bristol. The weather in the UK today has been rubbish. Yeah, look at that. That's awful. Awful weather. Thankfully, Bristol's not looking too bad down here, so we're just kind of sort of bypass that. If you sat on the left side of the airplane today, you're going to see lots of clouds. If you're on the right side, I think you might get some a nice clear view. Right, anyway, let me just go through setting up. APU is now available. We've just seen that come up. We'll just give that a minute. Other thing I need to do then is just check, yeah, ISISO's all fine. Pedestal, check everything there as it should be. 1215. Flight deck doors open, and the switching panel, thrust levers, engine masters, rudder, parking brake, flaps, and transponder, etc, etc. Glare shield, flight directors 1 and 2, we can pop those on. All the instrument panel is on, so that's fine. And let's have a look at the sim brief stuff. Let's get that in. So AOC menu, init press, pull that in. So 1 hour 7 minutes our flight time should take today. 1 hour 7 minutes, that's quite neat. Not too long, but I'm also going to have a little bit of fun as well with the new fixes page, if we can try and use that as well this evening. See if we can use it in some sort of semi-serious fashion. But it's great to see that that's been shown. If you haven't checked that out, please do check out the video on the page that was uploaded. I can't remember if that was yesterday. Tom B, no, this is not live time, purely because flying at night on VATSIM at the moment is an absolute pain. So no, not live time, but it is live weather. Right, so weight and balance, we can leave the fuel page. We've already said what we're doing there. Let's get APU bleed on now, shall we? APU bleed is on, and we'll just give that another minute. And we'll get the payload. Let's just check that matches up with the flight plan. Zero fuel weight of 6259. Yeah, that's good. Payload 16328. That's all good as well. Right, so I'm going to start boarding, but technically this is basically just adding the weight to the aircraft. I use self-loading cargo, of course, for the passenger boarding, so I'll wait until the APU bleed is on and the packs are on before we get them going. But that's now all done. So happy with that. IRS 3 nav green. Aircraft status, LEAP engines, Airac cycle. Ooh, that runs out tomorrow. Get a new one to download. If you have the Navigraph subscription, you'll obviously be able to download that and pop that in. Otherwise, of course, you have to wait for Microsoft to do its thing. Tom B, why is it difficult to fly at night on VATSIM? Well, normally it isn't, but since SIM update number 5 happened, none of the other aircraft have lights on them, which at night time is a problem, particularly on the ground, because we can't see them. So when air traffic control tells you to say, follow the company aircraft to such and such a place, and I'm looking around going, what aircraft? I can't see an aircraft. It's just not very realistic. I'd hasten to add that perhaps flying not quite live time is more realistic. So let's now get the packs on one. Just give that a couple of seconds and we'll put the other one on as well. Can stop the chrono. And 2. Both packs now on. Let's have a look at boarding the aircraft and then we'll go through setting the flight plan up.
Refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you. No problem.
Okay, so main doors are opening, as we can see, and I better open the luggage doors as well. We'll get some catering as well. Are those luggage doors going to open actually? The rear door and the cargo door. There it is, and I can see the acupressure slowly entering the green. Good stuff. Right, let's have a look at setting this up then, shall we? So, the alternate tonight is Birmingham. Echo Golf Bravo Bravo. Flight number tonight, an Easyjet call sign, not had one for a while, and I like this one. This is a good one. Easy 15 November Juliet. It doesn't roll off the tongue, but it's not got a cubic in it or something daft like that. Easy 15 November Juliet, constant index of 5, flight level 330. Temperature is fine. Tropo should be about 33,000 feet. We'll go in and amend that. There we go. So our flight plan this evening, departing, in fact I need to double check this. This was created a couple of hours ago, so let me just see what are the winds actually doing in Edinburgh at not Edinburgh, Inverness at the moment. So the winds are actually 330.5. That would favour would potentially favour the opposite runway, and it's not the longest of runways here either, so even a slight tailwind I personally wouldn't want to go with. So I don't know if HD wants to give me some PM advice as we have a discussion on that. We can take off from any runway we want. There's no other air traffic control here, but we've obviously got the choice of runway 05 or the choice of runway 23. Runway 05 is in the flight plan, but with the winds at 330 at 8, might potentially feel safer at as a runway 23 departure. Either way, it's a crosswind, but runway 23 gives us a crosswind slash headwind rather than a crosswind slash tailwind. HD, you've gone for 05. That suits me just fine. So No SIDS. There are no SIDS for this airport, so that's not not an error. Let's insert that. And little broadcast on VATSIM. Bad weather tonight, so flying the iconic approach there. Right, let's clear that up. And then the arrival into Bristol is runway 27, so I'll be the ILS 27. That is on the Admiral 1 Bravo. And the VIA, if we were to fly the full procedure, is the Bristol VOR. The problem with this is I don't know if it's the VOR and the NDB. It doesn't really matter, they're next to each other, but there's nothing there to tell me which is which. I would expect the VOR to be at the top, but I may be talking complete rubbish there. Right, so let's check how this looks with regards to our actual departure. So after departure it is Gussie, Neddy, yeah, that's fine. I'm just checking because obviously we don't have a standard instrument departure to follow. Okay, we'll just zoom out a little bit on that. So that's the flight plan all done. RadNav page then, we're going to put the Inverness VOR in there, which is India November Sierra. And 1092, 1 mile away. Turn that on. Pop the constraints on as well. Not that there will be any to see, just good habits. Onto the init B page. So we've got a zero fuel weight centre of gravity, 62.6, and 23.70 fuel weight centre of gravity. Fuel planning with a tailwind of 55. That is windy. Mind you, it has been windy today in the UK, isn't it? So tailwind of 55, 4.1 tonne, and we're taking 6, although we're burning some off. So let's plan with 5.9. Oh, is it not? Is it NDB at Bristol? Can you tell I've not been to Bristol before? Takeoff weight of 68.3. Yeah, that's just look at the takeoff weight on the operational flight plan. That's fine. We've obviously got extra fuel, so that adds up. And for the alternate, we've got around 1.7 tonnes. Once that's all worked out, that gives us an extra 17 minutes flying time. All good. On to the performance page. So transition altitude here is very low, 3,000 feet. And let's have a look then. So we sorry, just having a minute. So okay, I got some wrong information in front of me. I needed the European takeoff data. So HD, I don't know if you've got that to hand, or if any of the other guys on the Discord server had got that to hand. I just needed to check the engine out procedure for runway 05. I think I've got in front of me the engine out procedure for runway 23. Obviously, we're not doing that. We're doing 05. However, I think I've mixed a couple of things up, but for now, let's just continue setting this up, and I'll get that in a moment. So, flaps 1, toga, thrust reduction, acceleration. I just want to check that this is correct. It should be 1030, 1030, and engine out also 1030. And the V-speed 140136 and 135. HD, thank you. For some reason, I'd copied down. I'd got the engine out procedure. However, for some reason, I'd scribbled runway 23. I'd got the wrong engine out procedure for the wrong runway. So I've now got the right one in front of me, so I know what we're doing. Didn't want to brief the wrong engine out procedure for the wrong runway. Would have been turning the wrong way, and that would never have been good. Right, so we've actually got some proper figures as well. So big thanks to HD for that. So we can go with a flex takeoff now of 48 and 131. 135 and 139. Interestingly enough, not too far away, are they? Particularly V2. V2 seems always pretty good. And green dot is very good. Clean speed in the simulator is 223, real world was 222. HD, there's those that have and those that will. Is that an admission, HD? Glad to know I'm not alone. Right, so I'm happy that that's all set up, the box is set up, and we know what we're doing. So let's have a look at the charts and see how we're going to manage our departure. Now, very small airport just here. The fact we're taking off from runway 05 is great because it's a nice short taxi. Need to make sure those engines have had some decent running time as well. And so we're actually parked just here, literally. There's no parking stands. You obviously just get marshalled in just here. Oh, I think someone on VATSIM has just spawned into me because, wow, that guy must be tall. Okay, if you are on VATSIM and are also on the stream, would you mind moving, please? I can no longer see the screens. And goodness knows what aircraft they're in, because it must be a 767 or something daft, because they're a lot taller than I am. Anyway, whilst whoever has spawned into us, there we go. I was just going to say, while they do that, I'm going to run through our departure brief and how we're going to do it. So obviously we're going to push back. In fact, I'm not even sure we get pushback here. No, we don't. Pushback not available. So we're going to start the engines on stand, and then we'll make a left-hand turn, taxi down, and hold at Alpha 1 for our departure, runway 05. On departure then, as we've said, there are no standard instrument departures, so we'd normally get some sort of radar vectoring, presumably from ATC. However, for this, here's the chart for. Is that the chart for runway 23? Yeah, that's no good. I want the chart for runway 05. Just pull that up, and the reason I want that is because I can use this just to get the minimum safe altitudes. So minimum safe altitudes as we depart 3,000 feet, and then we're obviously going to be coming back down to this waypoint here, Gussie. Minimum safe altitude here as we cross this sector will be 5,600 feet, and obviously drops slightly lower where Gussie is to 5,000 feet. So in order to be safe, I want to be approaching sort of the 5,000 feet mark before we begin a right hand turn, and then we know we're nice and safe as we come to intercept a nice track heading towards Gussie. So I'll leave the aircraft probably in heading mode for a while, because I don't want to make that turn straight away after departure. We want to be able to clear the terrain, of course. So that's how we're going to fly at the departure. Other things I want to be aware of then is, of course, the weather. As we can see, the weather is quite nice. Visibility is great. Winds aren't too bad here either. The runway length at Inverness, which someone's already brought up, is just short of 1,900 meters. So short runway, and if we had a problem and I needed to return in the real world, I'd need to run some landing calculations to see if I could actually get back in safely here, because I think we're ever so slightly over the maximum landing weight as well. Yeah, we are. So we're about a ton heavier than the maximum landing weight. So we'd have to make a serious considered calculation and think, depending on what the emergency was, of course. If it was something like an engine fire, then you'd take your chance, wouldn't you? But if it was something a lot less serious, we needed to divert, but perhaps not instantly, then potentially returning here, we'd have to give that some calculated thought. The aircraft is the type A320neo. It is the experimental version of the Fly-by-Wire mod, Custom Flight Plan Manager, and a couple of other things. But the terrain radar doesn't work, so again, another reason for wanting to be above minimum safe altitude on that first right-hand turn. So no terrain radar, no TCAS, and we've also got no weather radar either. NOTAMs, nothing to be aware of here in Inverness, and threats to be aware of. We've already briefed the fact that we've got terrain within our flight path as we take off and turn towards the southwest. So happy with all of that. Let's talk about what would happen if things went wrong. No ATC online, so if we have a problem we'll make a call during the taxi. If we have a problem, that is, we'll make a call on Unicom after stopping the aircraft, just let people know what we're doing, run any ECAM drills as necessary, and then on takeoff, if we've got any problems or warnings before 100 knots, then we'll consider stopping, but after 100 knots up to V1, we'll only stop for uninhibited ECAM warnings, cautions, engine fire or failures, and that's with or without thrust loss, or of course if we think the aircraft is unsafe to fly. If that's the case, I'll call stop, we'll go to max reverse, keep the aircraft nice and straight on the runway, and I'll use manual braking as well if I don't think the auto brake is going to stop us in time, particularly given the short runway. If we've had an engine fire warning, then I'll also attempt to point the aircraft into the wind, and it'll be engine number 2. No, correction, it'll be engine number 1 that'll be in the wind on takeoff. Once we've come to a stop, then I'll stow the reversers, set the parking brakes, and then just sit and run any ECAM drills, check ECAM messages and any fault lights, make sure we know why we've stopped, and then once we've established the cause of the failure, we can either look to complete the ECAM tasks and vacate the runway. Of course, if it was something more serious, then you'd consider running the evacuation checklist. A failure after V1, of course, means we're then committed, so we need to get the aircraft into the air. If it was an engine failure, we would then fly using a standard technique of 12.5 degrees pitch, following the SRS and using rudder to counteract any yaw. Once the aircraft has got a positive rate of climb, we'll get the gear up, trim out the yaw, and then once we've trimmed, we can engage autopilot. We can also go toga power as well if we need to. Now, it's a non-standard engine out procedure here. So the fact we haven't got the SID actually helps us in the event of an engine failure. So we'll keep the aircraft in heading mode, and then once we get to 2,200 feet, we make a right-hand turn to the India November Sierra VOR. And that is a holding point. Entry pattern is 224 degrees, and it's left turns. Once the engine has been secured and we're above that single engine acceleration and we've completed that turn, we'll then push the level off, accelerate, retract the flaps on schedule, and then at green dot we'll go open climb, select maximum continuous thrust. Once we've got towards the holding point and entered it, we'll then look to decide what we're going to do next, continue return or divert. So let's hope we don't need any of that. But we've done it, we've briefed it, we know what we're doing, and of course I can help that a little bit now as well by just going onto the fixes page, and I can actually type in INS, and that should then appear once it's found it. There it is. So we've now actually got that also showing on the navigation display, just so I can see that a little more clearly. We've got it tuned in the VOR as well, but we've also now got it on the navigation display, so we can actually see it. HD as confirmed, we would be able to land back. So good to know. Right, I think everybody is now on board. Just waiting for that cargo door to close.
Passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
So I've still got a cargo door open. We need to get that. We need to get that closed, don't we? Oh, there we go. Boys downstairs done good. Right, we'll get the pumps on, seatbelt signs, and then we'll look at running the before start checklist to the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew have now finished loading the last of the baggage into the aircraft, so if you could get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our Easyjetsimpilot members, and if you wish to inquire about becoming a member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our Easyjetsimpilot members are of course entitled to free drinks throughout the flight. Thanks very much, and we'll give you an update once we are airborne. Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check.
Okay, so I think we're about ready to start running the final checks, and cockpit preparation is complete. Just checking once again, paranoid check on the overhead. Everything looks as it should up there. We've already checked, we've got 3 nav green. Just check the fuel is all nicely balanced. It is. So let's run the before start checks to the line. So our cockpit preparation is completed. Signs are on and auto. Adheres 3 nav green, and fuel on board is 5960 kilograms and balanced. FMGS is set and altimeter 1010. So I think we're not going to actually get a tug driver this morning, but never mind. Let's just tune to Unicom 122.8. And I'm just going to have a quick look around, see what other traffic we may have got. There's a Learjet or something. We'll just wait for him to move before we actually start our push. But we can get our Phantom tug in position. Sadly, I don't think the tug driver is going to physically appear, but we'll chat to him anyway. So before we do that, although, what am I talking about? We don't have a tug driver here. Forget that. So that's okay. Right, we'll get the rotating beacon light turned on. And we shall announce that we are going to start engines on stand. Inverness traffic, Easy 15 November Juliet, starting engines on stand, south apron. Okay, windows and doors are closed and armed, rotating beacon light is on, mobile phone is on silent, and parking brake is on. So let's start engine number 1. Engine mode select to start, and starting engine 1. LG Lambs, check the initial climb. That is a good shout. We don't actually have one here, so as ATC hadn't given us one, and I had no chart for one, I'd missed it. We'd have picked that up in the PES check. We can set probably an initial climb. Let's go 10,000 feet. A good altitude to set to begin with. I've just jumped back in on the chat. Are you guys talking about Air 2000? Haha, I loved that livery. Those were the days. I always just used to get confused when listening in between Jet Set and Kestrel. Jet Set and Kestrel, they were the two airlines call signs. I always got them mixed up. Engine number 1, stable, starting engine 2. Blow me neck, that PTU was loud, or was that just me? Brian, can you reverse thrust out of the space? No. Well, not legally anyway. Yeah, Kestrel was Thomas Cook, wasn't it? God bless them. So many past airlines. I liked Britannia as well. Literally the days of sat in the bedroom window as a child with the airband radio listening to it. Do you remember Air UK? Air UK used to come in to Manchester.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft.
Of course, Peter. How could we forget
Safety
Monarch?
card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace.
So engine number 2
There are
is
2
stable as well.
emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping.
After start checklist, anti-ice not required.
Land on water.
Ecam
Take the
status
life
is checked.
jacket from
Pitch
under
trim
your
is
seat.
23.7 set and rudder is 0.
Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube.
So I'll have a quick look
There
around
is a
just to
light
see
and whistle for a
if we've got
transport.
anyone moving around us.
We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now
That
be
Learjet
armrest down,
private jet might be waiting for us.
and seatbelt fastened.
I want to do our flight controls check whilst we're here on stand. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, neutral. Inverness traffic, easy, 15 November Juliet, taxi now via Alpha to Alpha 1 for runway 05. We'll also get a couple of other things set up here as well, because it is a nice short taxi.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
I'll wait till I've moved before I put the radars on. We don't want to fry any ground staff that may be lurking around. Right, so if we've got traffic coming in on 2-3, chances are they're going to roll right to the end of the active, aren't they? So we will hold our position. We'll just turn the aircraft around, hold the position, and then he's got plenty of time to and space to get through. That will give us time to do PEDS checks and the before takeoff checklists as well. So let's hold our position just here. Inverness traffic easy, 15 November Juliet is now holding away from taxiway Alpha for the inbound arrival on runway 23. Problem with, I've not got TCAS, so I have no idea how far that aircraft actually is away. Anyway, let's run our PEDS check. So, no change in performance, QNH is still 1010, engine out procedure is non-standard, it's a right turn to heading 365 at 2,200 feet. And in fact, no, it isn't. Scrap that. 2,200 feet is right turn back towards the INS VOR. And then our departure matches what we have on the FMGC. However, it is, remember, no SID, so we're just going to wait until we're clear 5,000 feet. Then we'll make our right-hand turn. Stop altitude, we've put 10,000 feet. There he comes. I can just see him there. Passengers also got a good view, so we'll wait for him to taxi out of our way. Let's use the time wisely. Flight controls checked. Sorry, this is the before takeoff checklist. So flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is done. Flap setting config 1 set. FMA and takeoff data 131 blue, 139 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FD2, 10,000 blue, flex 48. Transponder is set, ECAM memo, takeoff no blue, and the cabin is secured. Let's go ahead and pop on the weather radars. Predictive wind shear. Here's our company Airbus. We'll wait for him to get out of the way. Where's he gone? Oh, has he got lost? Here he comes. We'll wait here for him to pass us on the left, and then we'll taxi. He's probably thought, a nice quiet approach into Inverness this evening, that would be lovely. Chances are, if he's on VATSIM and he's flying at live time, of course, he won't be able to see us. There we go. Inverness traffic behind the taxiing inbound company A320. We'll taxi, hold short at Alpha 1 for runway 05 departure. Okay, let's begin our taxi. Simon! Oh, thank you so much, Simon. Simon says, safe flight, Captain. Always a pleasure flying along. Simon, you are very, very welcome. Long-term supporter of the channel is Simon. So thank you once again for your very, very kind donation. That is really appreciated, Simon. Thank you so much for that. Right, Simon. Well, let's get you and everybody else in the air, shall we? So, holding short. Let's just check our brake temperatures are absolutely fine. Let's make sure no one else is coming in. I've not heard anyone. We can't see anyone. So I'm happy to proceed to the active. Let's get the strobe lights on and all the other lights that go with it, including the transponder and TCAS. Before takeoff checklist below the line. So let's just check cabin is secured. Engine mode select to normal. TCAS TARA. We'll get the packs off as well just before takeoff. So I'm going to hold my checklist just there. In fact, let's do that now. Try to leave them as late as possible, given the COVID situation, but packs off. Anti-ice not required. Guys, are we not on Unicom? Is my first officer doing daft things again? 122.8. And I'm parked in an awful position at the minute. We'll keep an eye on that. No idea why the first officer has been doing that in the past. Inverness traffic, easy 15 November Juliet, departing runway 05. We're still on Unicom. We heard the traffic, didn't we? Or I did a while ago, so we were on Unicom. Not sure when that got changed. Anyway, let's go. So let's reset the chrono. Takeoff. Start that. Set to 50% N1. Engine stable and set takeoff thrust. Man flex, SRS and runway. 80 knots, side stick back to neutral.
100 knots.
V1, rotate. Oh, a nice little gust as we took off just there. Nav.
Positive rate 1, gear up.
So I'm not following the flight directors straight away because I don't want to make that right hand turn just yet. So set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. And just concentrating on watching the altitude. Make sure the speed continues to increase. We'll clean the aircraft up and then we should be safe to start that right hand turn. We'll set standard pressure as well. Flaps 0, ground spoilers disarmed. Okay, let's make the right hand turn. Autopilot 1 engaged. And with no air traffic control, let's continue our climb. Set flight level 200 for now. That'll get us above 10,000 feet. Then we'll check the progress. I'll be interested to see how the aircraft rolls out now. Seems like it's doing a nice job actually. Release the cabin crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Coming up on 10,000 feet, get those lights off. And someone told me as well the other day that the EFIS menus now all work, so we'll see if the airports populate on the screen in a moment. Happy to go to our flight level of 330, so we'll set that 330 blue. And that actually appears to be flying quite nicely. In fact, that looks to be flying very nicely, the way that's intercepted our course towards Gussie. Stuff like that really makes you appreciate the work that the Fly-by-Wire team have done, doesn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So for anybody just joining us, we have just departed Inverness. We are not on live time, we are on live weather, and man, these clouds are looking nice. These clouds are looking really, really nice this morning. It's evening in the real world, but morning in the sim. In fact, what time is it in the sim? 0738 Zulu time in the simulator. We're just passing flight level 150 on our departure, headed towards our first waypoint of Gussie. And yeah, everything really, really nice. One slight issue with the frequency. Look, it's done it again. So, is it this guy? There it is. AI radio communication. I don't know why it's doing that. It's only just started doing it. Hopefully, it won't do it again, though. I'm gonna have to start bringing that into my my checklist. J-Hog waved to my aunt. Yeah, I have no idea where she lives in relation to Inverness Airport. I keep saying I need to go up and see her. Aviation Forever, hello. The altitude and the speed and the top are 0, are they? Are they having a moment? Oh, so they are. So is the heading as well. That's a bit strange. Let's see if I can... shall we see if we can refresh that? Just give me a minute or so. We'll see if we can get that working again. Simon, lovely clouds. Yes. Awesome clouds. Right, hopefully the overlay at the top should be working again now. I'm sure you guys will let me know if it is. HD dispatched the ruler on him. We've got traffic inbound to Edinburgh, so that's that shouldn't concern us. Brian, was I flying any challenges or stuff like that? Microsoft Flight Simulator turns out off. Ah, that's interesting, because we did do that the other night, didn't we? How on earth do I stop him doing that? Because I keep turning that off, and I've not flown any challenges since. But he remains insistent on fiddling with my radio knobs. I don't like that. Ian, good evening on Facebook. Thank you for stopping by. This is the experimental version. Pascal, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Dr. Magic and Colin also dropping in as well. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for flying with us tonight. Passing flight level 210. We're above that cloud layer now, which is nice. No anti-ice has going to get in our way, it seems. So that's good. Elias01, would I say that the physics in the simulator are the most realistic in any simulator, aside from the bugs? Do you know, there's so many different answers to that question. You can read all the forums, and they'll all say, you'll get 50% of pilots say, I think it's fantastic, it's really close, it's great. And then you'll get other pilots that say, no, this is terrible. It's not a patch on X-Plane or P3D. Anything like that. Aviator Z, you've just updated the A320NX. How do you use the autopilots? Because things have changed. Well, the autopilot hasn't changed. It's now just a lot more realistic. So our next waypoint is Glasgow. Golf Oscar Whiskey, as you can see, top right of the navigation display. We're 65 miles from Glasgow, if anyone lives there. So Simon, it's happened to you ever since sim update number 5. You've no idea how to fix it other than checking. That's annoying, isn't it? Ethermaster, you just sat there waiting for the PMDG 737. I think a lot of people are in that camp with you. Colin, you did your first ever VATSIM call today. It was scary. Was it a radio check, Colin? Tell me it was a radio check. That's what everyone does for the first time. That's what I did. Captain N, hello. And HD makes a good point there. The sad thing is it's almost impossible to compare a simulator to real world physics, because you're only normally manual on the real aircraft as well for a couple of minutes. Yeah, that would be immediately after takeoff and landing, isn't it? I think it's great for the systems. The systems are really good, and they're only getting better and better. And as more high fidelity and study aircraft come along, then of course the simulator's only going to get better and better. Think how good P3DR and X-Plane is, and FSX, etc. now, and then think how long they've been out. Colin, it was a radio check. Yeah, great stuff. Vidal, can I explain to you how you see the turbulence when you pass through it on a flight? Do you mean on the navigation display? Or on the SimBrief map? The SimBrief map is, well, you don't really see it. You get an idea. You get, on the weather charts, you get an idea of where they are. But it's not to say you are absolutely certainly going to have turbulence at this point. So the weather radar is really the only way that you're going to see that. Then again, if you've got clear air turbulence, then it's not going to pick that up either. So, but in terms of the operational flight plan, let's have a look. Because if we scroll down and have a look at the weather charts for today, what have we got? These are actually a bit small. Hang on, let me get the proper one up. Alright, so here we go. We've got the winds shown there, and then there's our flight route. And that's our Sigma chart. What have we got? So we've got a jet stream coming over here. That's not bothering us. And I always have to look at some of these carefully, because you've got the dashed lines here, which is this little area shown, which is showing light turbulence. And then we've got icing up to flight level 160. And you know what, I always have a mental block and have to think, because I quite often get these two symbols confused. Or as HD says, there's the shear rates. Hang on, where's that being shown? So the maximum shear rate today is 2.3, which is very low. So we shouldn't actually get much turbulence in this flight, looking at it. What was the magic number, HD, you got interested in? If it's over 8, I think you said you actually started to take notice. Yeah, so Area 1 was the dashed lines. Let me just go back. Thank you, HD. Yeah, so Area 1's the dashed lines, and then on these sort of this area just here, I don't even know what you'd call that. Looks like a cloud, doesn't it? You've got turbulence up to flight level 1. Sorry, you've got icing up to flight level 160. Trex 531, do I use the Thrustmaster side state? Do you know, I will be doing as soon as customs release it. It is currently sat in customs somewhere. I'm waiting for UPS to deliver that. Scalloped lines, that's the word. Thank you, HD. Scalloped lines. So there's Glasgow, about 30 miles away. We're still climbing to our top of climb at the moment. It does look like a beautiful morning over Scotland, though, doesn't it? Very nice. Danny, is that per airline or is it overall? Does every pilot consider overrated important enough to take notice? Well, I think it doesn't matter what airline you're flying, does it? Obviously, or airliner, should I say? Perhaps the larger aircraft might not feel it quite so much, but it's the area of it's the maximum shear rate on your flight, so that's when the winds are going to change direction, and you're potentially going to get that turbulence. So, I would imagine most pilots would take note of something like that. Ollie, do I use the flight plan to calculate a top of descent? No, I don't. No. It's a nice tool to have, but I don't use it. Once we get to our cruise, then we'll have a look. Ah, Fairs Locks, I love you too. Speedbird Simulations on Twitch, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. And what are we now? Mac Alt Star. We'll do a fuel check as well, and when we get to Glasgow. When we get to Glasgow, I want to see, or rather I expect to see about 4.4 tons of fuel. Not actually burnt as much as I'd have expected there. Alt cruise. Bruno, is it okay to refuel the aircraft with the APU running? Yes, it is. Oh, look at that. They are indeed working. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Is this showing at every airport still? Oh, yes, I think it is. I thought it was just going to show the larger airports, but no, I think it is still showing every one of them. No, never mind. So we've burnt about 200-300 kilograms less fuel than I'd planned, but that's okay. Better to have more than less, isn't it? So I think that's Nick. Is he trying to particularly contact someone?
320. Just be aware on 330 as well, and literally about 3 miles ahead of you, you catch him.
Just listening to the conversation between traffic who is behind me, I believe, so I think we're safe.
After that location is 350.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, just to let you know that we've reached our cruising altitude for today, and we are not anticipating any major delays or bad weather ahead, so we should be arriving on time as planned. The cabin crew will now start to make their way around the aircraft, so please make sure that the aisles are clear of any items you may have, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our Easyjetsimpilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Samuel, it's kind of warm in here. Can I turn the AC down? Of course. Are you in the forward or the aft cabin? We like it warm in winter here in the UK, but go on, I'll turn that down for you a little bit. I might keep the flight deck turned up. So that'll start to drop momentarily. It's great that that's modelled. Simple little thing, but it's nice. I can see Dean Cross coming up. When I was a kid, I used to have old, I think there may have been Jefferson charts then, massive Jefferson charts of all the airways across Britain. I don't know why, I used to just sit and watch them and look at them, study them, and a lot of the VORs, particularly up the north from where I was from, just stuck. Zed, the packs are on, sir. They are. And we've just turned the temperature down as well, because Sam's melting in the back. So as we're heading down then, we'll just go to our AOC menu and get a few weather requests. Echo Golf Golf Delta, of course, that's where we're going to be landing. We'll also get some information for Manchester as we're passing over there. We'll leave Birmingham as it is. So let's just send those off. HD, that's interesting. That Greece doesn't like it. That's the interesting bit. Yeah. So you can refuel with passengers on board in most places, but the Greeks don't like it. How strange. Aviation Forever, when should you turn on the packs? They should be on whenever passengers are on board, with the exception of just the takeoff roll. Fast Eddie Gaming on Facebook. Hello sir, hope you're well. Ollie, these streams says these streams are good for spotting the little things that you fail to do or do incorrectly. Well, that's good, but occasionally I do things incorrectly as well. So it's great when I get something slightly wrong that you guys all pick me up on it now. What have we got? Winds 260 at 15 knots. That's almost as dead on headwind. Towering cumulus over Manchester with showers of rain. Visibility is down to 4,000 metres. And Birmingham has got wind 316, good visibility. Cumulonimbus 3,100 feet. Winter Splash, why don't I use live weather? This is live weather. This is live weather. It's not live time, but it is live weather. So nice that you can have that, actually, live weather, but change the time for the particular time of day you like to fly. Love that little cloud layer showing down there as well. Right, so let's just have a quick look at our top of descent. Let's add a cheeky top of descent line in, shall we? So I want to be, or I'm aiming to be flight level 160 at AMRAL. Well, in that case, let's see, what are we at? We're at flight level, is it 33 or 35? We're at flight level 330, and I want to be at flight level 160 at AMRAL. So that's around 51 miles away. The wind, as it is at the moment, is just a crosswind. So I reckon if we start, if we start that descent, we'll put that in at. Well, let's put that in at 61 miles. That gives us 10 miles just to play with, and we can obviously monitor the rate of descent down. So let's use the new fixes page, which is quite neat. So if we pop in AMRAL, pop that in there. And we set a radius, let's put a radius in there of 60 miles. That'll go in. There you go. There's our top of descent as we fly through there. What a great little feature to have. Aviation Forever asks, have I ever participated in any VATSIM events? Yes, I have, but not in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Until I can do holds automatically and not manually, then I wouldn't. The thought of holding for 20 minutes manually just bores the hell out of me. 'Cause I can't just sit and enjoy the scenery. Bruno, another question. Do you pull the yoke halfway down? Or why do you pull the push? Why do you push the side stick halfway down? That's so that most of the sort of control, control's the wrong word, HD will be able to choose better words for this, but it's so that basically the directional control is more based on the use of the nose wheel at the slower speeds, and then the rudder as you get faster and faster. There you go. I told you HD had put it into better terms. Nose wheel authority until the rudder becomes more effective. I swear, HD, you've just got a textbook at the side of you. Although you do, but it's the one in your head, isn't it? Ollie, yeah, that's brilliant for top of descent. Is this only available in the experimental version? Yes, it is. London North 133.7. Control, good evening, Easy 15 November Juliet, flight level 330 inbound Dean Cross.
Easy 15 November Juliet, London, Roger, AMRAL 1 Bravo, arrival to Bristol, squawk 0560.
Expect the AMRAL 1 Bravo arrival into Bristol, squawk 0560 for Easy 15 November Juliet. My squawk number had also changed as well, my naughty FO.
Control, good evening. Union 2117, flight level 330.
I'll just check. I think that's the one that we'd already programmed in, isn't it?
Union 2117, London, Roger, is the AMRAL 1 Bravo
There it is.
arrival for Bristol, squawk 0567.
AMRAL 1 Bravo, 0567, Union 2117.
If ATC is on down there, hopefully we'll get vectored in for the ILS rather than flying the full procedure, so that's quite nice.
Satellite Lima, up further, Monitor Unicom 1 CT decimal, over.
Monitor Unicom 1 to decimal, Satellite Lima, thanks, good night.
So I have just put the threshold in for Bristol's runway 27, so we've got that in the prog page.
London, Roger, Amral 1 Bravo, arrival for Bristol, squawk 0511.
Amral 1 Bravo, arrival for Bristol, squawk 0511, speed off.
Danny says thanks.
117, report your Mac number.
Thanks for the answer on lightning bolts versus refueling.
Easy 15 November Juliet, report Mac number.
Mac number 0.74 for Easy 15 November Juliet.
Easy 15 November Juliet, Roger, fly Mac decimal 77 or greater.
Max 77 or greater for Easy 15 November Juliet.
Union 2117, fly Mac decimal 77.
Let's put some space between us.
Decimal 77, Union 2117.
Speedbird 464, turn, correction, continue.
HD, yeah, if ATC don't get in the way, what would you like me to do?
Down to Max 77, speed 464.
Speedbird 464, continue present heading.
We'll continue present heading, speed
4. So just quickly briefing our arrival. Yeah, that's proved the cost index works, doesn't it?
10 Tango, London, control.
Briefing our arrival
10 Tango, 14
as well. Oh, hang on, let me just try this for HD very quickly.
When I come over London airspace, will you be controlling London standard arrivals?
No, you won't be entering any controlled airspace on your arrival, unfortunately, because you're Unicom on CT decimal.
So,
okay, no
press the data on the McDo,
okay, that's no problem.
done
Thank
that.
You, bye-bye.
Take care.
You too.
So while I'm waiting for HD just to give us some instructions on what he wants to try and see, I'm just mentally going over this. So we've got Amarillo flight level 160, then down to Rouse at 150, and then if we do the full procedure, we want to fly over Bristol at flight level 70 for the hold. I don't think they're actually going to want us to do that. I think they're going to want to bring us straight in and potentially give us vectors in, which would be nice.
London Control, very good evening, Easy 2 Whiskey Bravo, flight level
Gregor, you love flying this route as you live on the approach of Inverness. Oh, nice. Dane, Reed, I shall show you that in a moment. Yes, show you where to see the ETA for your destination.
Speedbird 464, resume and navigation knock-in.
sorry, resume navigation to where, sorry?
To knock-in.
I'm resuming navigation to knock-in.
Ah, it's not allowed, sadly.
117, left.
Just check I popped that incorrectly. ALPDD. No, sadly that's not working.
Speedbird 40 Delta Bravo, London, Roger, Nugra 1 Hotel, arrival for Heathrow. Redirect Nugra, climb flight level 330.
Just taking for 40 Delta Bravo.
Easy 40 Delta Bravo, Nugra 1 Hotel, arrival for Heathrow. Climb flight level 330.
ILS frequency is in there, so that's fine. 1015.
Speedbird 40 Delta Bravo, redirect Nugra.
Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. And the platform altitude for our approach today is 2,500 feet. Minimum safe altitude as we approach will be 2,200 feet. And I'll check the weather in a moment, but I think...
District 1 Golf arrival, squawk 7651, Easy 8 for Tango Victor.
Easy 15 November Juliet, check selected level, cleared level, flight level 330.
Easy 15 November Juliet, showing flight level 330.
Easy 15 November Juliet, Roger, fly heading 180 degrees.
Heading 180 degrees for Easy 15 November Juliet. So heading
KLM 997 is with you at flight level 185, going for 280.
KLM 997.
Oh, there's some paperwork.
Satellite Mike, nothing further. Monitor Unicom, Monitor Destilate, bye-bye.
Up to Unicom again, for Satellite Mike, thanks for ATC, goodbye.
Ferry 99, nothing further. Monitor Unicom, Monitor Destilate.
London Center, hello. 775.
So, quick arrival.
600.
Expect the constraints on the Emerald
Request to land
Star, flight level 160, Emerald 150 at Riles. Max speed 250 Inga, as we drop down below 10,000 feet, so that's fine. Slowing down, and then if we do the full procedure, it'll be a nice teardrop approach. But if ATC is online, they're probably going to pull us off between Dover and Inga to bring us in and round for runway 27. On landing, we have a nice short runway for landing. We would probably expect to roll all the way to the end and then taxi back into the apron.
Easy 15 November Juliet, expect flight level 270, level beam Carno, when ready to descend, flight level 290.
Expect flight level 270, level of being Carno, and just repeat our descent clearance for us please. Easy 15 November Juliet.
Easy 15 November Juliet, when ready to descend, flight level 290.
We'll report ready to descend, flight level 290, Easy 15 November Juliet.
London Center, Ferry 999,
So Gazee Carno is just there. When we're about 20 miles away, we'll go down. Which kind of makes that top of descent that we've got here a bit superfluous. What should we do if we get an overspeed? Would it not be thrust idle?
Good evening, London Centre. This is Easy 2310, flight level 370.
And Christian says keep a clear head. Yes, indeed.
2310 London, Roger, Amral 1 Bravo, arrival for Bristol, squawk 2721.
2721 and the Emerald 1 Bravo arrival. Easy 2310.
Easy 84 Tango Victor, flight Mac decimal 77.
Fly Max decimal 77, Easy 84 Tango Victor.
23010.
Easy 2310, negative technical sign, it's Easy 84 Tango Victor.
So we're actually getting quite busy at the moment, so let's just get the latest weather before we start heading down. I might have to hand over some questions to my my PM, as ATC is very busy as well and I don't want to miss a call from them.
Speedbird 464, expect flight level 270, level Carno, when ready to descend, flight level 340.
Expect flight level 270 by Carno, and when ready to descend to flight level 240.
Union 2117, resume.
Quickly get this information on here. Winds are 26 at 12. QNH 1011. Temperature is 10 degrees.
Easy 15 November Juliet, speed on conversion 280 knots or greater.
280 knots or greater on conversion for Easy 15 November Juliet.
Speedbird 464, or descend when ready, flight level 270, level by Carno, speed on conversion 280 knots.
Descend to flight level 270 by Carno and speed off conversion 280 knots.
Actually, pre-selected was 288 there, and it did say or greater, so that would have been okay. 1011. Temperature is 10. Wind 260 at
15 November Juliet, descend flight level 270, level beam Carno.
Descending now, flight level 270, level beam Carno for Easy 15 November Juliet. So, thrust idle, open descent, 270 blue.
Easy 2 Whiskey Bravo, when ready, descend flight level 290, be level by Alphabet.
Transition altitude 6,000 feet.
290 when ready by up at Easy 2 Whiskey Bravo.
And decision
Easy 84 Tango Victor, no
altitude is 801.
Sorry, just repeat that, Easy 84 Tango Victor.
Cat 1,
Easy 84 Tango Victor, no
runway visual range 750 metres or above, which it is 801. There we go.
Easy 15 November Juliet, resume navigation Carlo.
Receive all navigation direct to Kano for Easy 15 November Juliet.
Speedbird 40 Delta Bravo, nothing further from myself, continue on Unicom 1CT, that's slide into his line.
Thank you very much for the service.
HD, is that green arc on the navigation display? I don't think so. I can't see
London Control, Easy 684.
it anywhere, I'm afraid.
Easy 684 London, Roger, Rosen 1 Foxtrot arrival for Manchester.
Say again, Easy 684.
Easy 684 Rosen 1 Foxtrot arrival for Manchester.
So, managed, selected VS speed. Just slow that rate of descent down. We don't need to descend at that rate.
Rosen 1 Foxtrot departure at Manchester, Easy 684. Sorry.
KLM 097 Amsterdam Middles line, continue on Unicom 1CT decimal 8 bye.
1 2 decimal 8 KLM 097 goodbye.
Oh, we'd only see that in heading or track mode. That's fair enough then. It's not going to be shown since we did the direct.
Union 2117, when ready, descend flight level 270, level Carno, and your speed on conversion 280 knots.
270 Carno, speed 280 on conversion, 2117.
Easy 15 November Juliet, nothing further, continue on Unicom 1CT, decimal 8 bye.
Over to Unicom now. Thanks for the service, Easy 15 November Juliet. Good night. Right, in that case, we'll vector ourselves in. Which means I'm going to continue down now to flight level 160. Thrust idle, open descent, 160 blue. Anti-ice is on. We're nicely below the profile now. Anyway, at Amral I want to be 160. That's 10,000 feet to go, and we're about 50 miles away. So we can continue the descent. I don't mind that, but I'm just going to slow that rate of descent down because it doesn't need to be that much. So we've got speed VS 140. And we will vector ourselves in and around. So, a little bit of a busy time there, listening to ATC and concentrating on how it's going to do the approach. But this is essentially going to be it with no air traffic control on board. So I'm going to stick with the constraints here. Amral 160, Riles 150. When we get to Inga 250 knots, we'll sort of break away and make a right-hand traffic pattern to come in and round to land at Bristol's runway 227. Platform altitude is 2,500 feet and the go-around is straight ahead 3,000 feet and that would be with ATC. Sadly no ATC online, so we'd just bring ourselves back in around to vector ourselves back in again for another approach, should we need to do that. Dane, certainly. Sorry, sir. It was kind of busy, wasn't it? But you can see your estimated time of arrival is shown just here. Now, I'm not on live time, so this is complete rubbish. But so 08:35, and the time in the simulator is 08:16, so around 20 minutes. Vida, you don't get the line in fix when you set the nautical miles. What, I'm not sure, actually. Have you definitely put in the correct fix? If we wanted to extend the runway centerline as well, what we could do, this isn't the way you'd do it, as I was chatting with HD about this earlier, this isn't the way you could do it, but as a workaround for now, can we pop in, I don't know if this will work actually, Echo Golf Golf Delta runway, what is it, 27 isn't it? Runway 27, does that work as a fix? Oh, I think it might do actually. So if from there we can pop in a radial line of 087. Oh, there we go, extended runway centerline. Beautiful, that's going to help us vector ourselves in, isn't it? Just to clear up any confusion, let's just get rid of the Amrel fix. We don't need that anymore. So there we go, there's our extended runway centerline. That is really neat. Oh, HD, you're about 30 seconds behind me, aren't you? I love it when a plan comes together. Ooh, what naff weather. $20 miles away from Amrel then. Mike, no night flight, no, but this is real weather, yeah, so we've got real weather, you can see the aircraft bumping up and down, but no night flights, no. HD, am I happy with how I would normally extend the runway centerline? No, I'm not actually sure how it would be done. Because I don't think it's actually implemented just yet, is it? So that's a workaround I know we can do for the moment. But by all means, let us know how it would normally be done. Self-loading cargo passengers are screaming.
Switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets
So HD, normally you go to any waypoint, click direct, there'd be a field where you can insert a radial outbound from it. So would you do that down here? Or would it be in the direct field? Oh, I see. I don't know if that works. Does that work? I don't want to go direct to. So, waypoint, if I then put the radial out and the radial in, would that work? I've already got one there, so I don't want to do a second one. I don't think it's been implemented yet. I'll tell you what, let me just put... no, do you know what? I'm not going to do it at the minute, but we could have a little play later. Right, that's flight level 160, bang on at Amrel. No, I didn't activate it, HD. I didn't want to do that. That's what I said. I think we'll we'll look at doing that when perhaps we're on the ground or something. Well, this weather's horrible. Flight level 150 blue. Nice to see it's bumpy. I hope that is coming across in the stream. It is quite turbulent. Mike, the glass is shimmering. Yeah, another Sim Update 5 bug. Alt Star. Bristol traffic, easy 15 November Juliet, overhead rallies on the Amble 1 Bravo arrival, 35 miles to the north of the field, to vector in runway 27 for landing. Okay, so what I want to do now is let's continue our descent, and we're going to head down all the way to the platform altitude.
Figure 464 with 4 miles from Wales. We're going to slow
Thrust idle, open descent.
20 knots, 4 spacing.
And 1011, oops, 1011 the QNH, 3000 blue. Roger, easy 15 November Juliet, currently 280 knots, flight level 140 will reduce to 50 on passing 10,000. Those screens are blinding, aren't they, when you're underneath the cloud layer? So slow to 250 knots in a moment, which should work quite nicely with Inga coming up. Thank you, PMs. Standby set to 1011. And let's start to pull that speed bug back to 250 knots. And as I've already got selected speed going, I'm happy now to go and activate the approach phase, so that's all done. Oh, that's interesting. We reverted to heading mode. as we've just kind of lost a bit of the flight plan there. That doesn't normally happen in the experimental version, but okay, I'm happy with that. We can continue this, and we're going to vector ourselves in anyway, so that's fine. Coming up on 10,000 feet, seatbelt signs are already on. We didn't run the landing, the approach checklist actually, but minimums are set both sides. Engine mode selector is normal, electronic flight bag is stowed. Let's get those lights on. So we'll slow the rate of descent, as we are going to obviously add some track miles to this. Okay, TM, good evening. What is the green fish on the navigation display? Okay, when Bristol's 10 miles away, we'll make a left turn. And we'll go 087 degrees for the traffic pattern. So if we start and do that now, so left turn, here we go. If we did a 10-mile final, that should work, shouldn't it? Or actually, we've got the waypoint, the CF27 waypoint. We could aim for there, which will get us down okay. Let's just increase that rate of descent a little bit more now that we've slowed down okay. The glide slope will start to meet us as well. Let's start to slow our aircraft down. So manage speed. You can tell that we're flying the reciprocal of the ILS runway heading. You can see 267 jumping from side to side at the bottom of the flight display. And then HD, yeah, that's all I was going to do. Once we'd sort of got to beam it, I was then going to go direct to CF27. And then we'd get the ILS. We have activated the approach flares, haven't we? Why aren't we slowing down? Manage speed? Oh, we're not slowing down because I've got VS speed set. But there we go. Thrust idle, open descent. Glide slopes now coming up to meters. We'll start to configure. Make a right hand turn. Might be a bit more than the 10-mile final, but never mind. So we'll make a right turn in a moment. There we can see that extended centre line. We're now below the glide slope as we continue to slow down. Let me configure, then we'll go direct. So, flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. and I'm happy to set 180 knots at this point. Direct CF27 and insert. Be interesting to see what this weather's like when we actually get to Bristol. What were the minimums? 801 feet.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing. Give me a bit of the cabin, thank you.
Do you know what? It's not going to do that. It's going to take me all the way back to this green nav line and then bring me in. So we'll just do this in heading mode, and it'll work.
British traffic, Speedbird 464 is turning final 14 knots.
Did we go direct to the wrong waypoint? Oh, that's a pain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your
Alt
cabin
glide
bag is
slope
safely
lock
stowed
blue
with your
Cat 3
laptop
dual
inside.
autopilot 1 and
Your
2,
train
1
labels
3
must be
miles to
stowed,
go.
armrest down and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
If we want more of an intercept, we can just pull that to the left a little bit. We don't want to intercept it after we've overflown the glide slope though, do we? So 9 miles we should pick up the glide slope. Let's configure flaps 2 speed checked, flaps 2. Speed still selected 180 knots. Lock star. Bristol traffic easy 15 November Juliet establishing runway 27 9 miles. Glide slope alive. Eight miles out. Glide slope start. Missed approach altitude 3,000 feet set. Now let's hope we can actually see the runway before 801 feet. Oh crap. Okay. Going around. Or not going around, but breaking off our approach. Why am I going to the left? Don't be daft. Let's go to the right and then let's pull heading mode.
Bristol traffic, using 2310, 14 miles south on the base leg for runway 27 Bristol.
Bristol traffic, be aware there's 2 aircraft
Open climb.
about a mile apart on time.
Let's get back up, please. Mantoga, SRS, no go around track. Let's keep that in heading mode. Speed alt start.
Easyjet your frequency.
Yeah, firm 10 miles final now for runway 27.
Yeah, you're going to stay a bit faster than me. I'm just down and trying to avoid.
Okay, roger.
Well, that was exciting for all the wrong reasons. Bristol traffic, Easy 15 November Juliet, broken off our approach due to traffic conflict. Now flying a right-hand traffic pattern for runway 27, currently 9 miles, 3,000 feet.
Bristol traffic, Union 2117, 10 mile final. Runway 27.
Let's get out of the way. 10 mile final, if he's established, he's over there in the right somewhere. We can't see anything because of the clouds.
2,500.
Oh, this is where TCAS really does come into its own when there's no VATSIM ATC online. Christian, better divert to Gatwick. I'm not going that far. Okay, so the traffic that was behind us... Traffic that was behind us was 10 mile final. We should be able to get in after that now. We're now 14 miles or so out. I think HD's passed out somewhere. Let's configure that again. So, flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. Just keep that turn going. Glad we've got the runway centre line on there. That's not the runway, by the way. That's not the airport. Different airport entirely. $17 miles out. Let's try again. Thanks, HD. Approach phase reactivated.
2,500.
Forget we have to do that on a go around.
Easy 2310, clear of runway 27 at Bristol.
Anyway, so we've got the glide slope lock blue again. Cat 3 dual, Autopilot 1-2. There goes lock star. Bristol traffic easy 15 November Juliet, establishing now runway 2715 miles.
Bristol traffic union 2117. 2 mile final.
Yeah, so there's no conflict issue there. If he's on 2 mile final, we're 15 miles away. He should be in the bar by the time we land. Localizer captured. We haven't even talked about the winds just yet. Radar altimeter alive. Oh, I can't imagine the size of the small forest that's about to be decimated following the report I get from HD after this flight. So I'm waiting for the glide slope to become alive again. We'll then go flaps 2. In fact, let's select 180 knots now. So that speed can bleed off. Then we'll go flaps 2, and hopefully this time we'll get in.
Traffic union 2117.
Runway's vacated, and I have the runway in sight. Dark Fury, we may have a meeting. There may be tea, but he may have spat in it first. God, look at those clouds. Glide slope alive. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. Eight-mile final. Glide slope star, missed approach altitude is 3,000 feet, set.
2,500.
One of the things I should also have probably briefed is the fact that the terrain leading up to this is quite bumpy, so radar altimeter is going to be giving fluctuating indications. It's also sat on the top of a hill, so it is going to be windy. 6 miles. Landing gear, spoilers, we got the lights on as well. Ding the cabin.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Five miles. Let's go to manage speed and go flaps full. Speed checked. There we go, flaps full, landing checklist. Cabin is secured, auto thrust speed, go around altitude, 3000, set, ECAM memo, landing no blue.
Cabin crew, please take your seats.
1,000.
1,000 feet. Bristol traffic easy 15 November Juliet, runway 27, 3 mile final. Oh, don't think we're going to be getting butter on this landing. We'll
1,000.
bumpy ride in. It's a short runway anyway. I don't want to be too long on the landing, do we? Autopilot off, I have control. Cat 1 showing. Let's see if we can get her down, shall we? With no further traffic conflicts. Wow, now I've taken the autopilot off, I actually can feel the weather buffeting us. That wind's just swung around a little bit more to a direct headwind, which is quite nice. Track that centre line a little bit more. I expect that wind to just drop off a touch more. 500. Approach stable. Let's get back on that centre line.
100 above. 300.
But this is actually quite turbulent, so I don't know if that's coming across. Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Spoilers deployed. Reversers on. A nice uphill landing as well. 70 knots, reversers off. And we'll roll out to the end. Vacate to the right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Bristol traffic runway 27 vacated. Now let's find somewhere to park, shall we? Sorry we are arriving a little late. We have to blame British Airways for that. Wayne, you are right, the taxiway is a little bit uneven there. So if we can find a spot in front of the terminal, and this is the payware scenery from Pilot Plus, I think it is, and it does house some static aircraft as far as I'm aware, so not all of them are actually live on VATSIM. Where's that British Airways? I'm going to have him. Nick. Extending my B&B time. Nick's just realised. Oh, right. So, where are we going to park? We'll go to the main terminal. We'll find somewhere to go. That's stand 25. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Well guys, welcome to Bristol nevertheless. Let's see if we can get in there, stand 23. Between TUI and another British Airways. That's if we don't stop. Look at the clouds, look at the speed of the clouds. You see that? Looks like smoke billowing out. Even the fire truck's on alert. I think that's the first time I've noticed. Obviously I noticed the clouds move, but I think that's the first time I've noticed them moving at that sort of speed. Right guys, here we go. Welcome to Bristol. Thank you very much for those of you that flew alongside us today, except Nick. Only joking, mate. Oh, that was good fun. That was a really nice flight, and it was certainly not boring when it came to the approach. Let's just get them parking brakes on, shut the engines down, and we can tell those passengers they'll be relieved they can get off. Oh, hang on, logbook. There we go. N1 is now below 10%. Let's get the beacon lights on. Connect the external power. There it is. And just pop the transponder to standby 2000. All is good. I don't know if I can spawn some ground vehicles here. Let's have a quick look. Have we got a GPU? He's there, but he's not actually moving. Oh, there they go. Great stuff. Oh, guys. Well, thank you so much for flying. Hope you've enjoyed the flight tonight. And I say tonight, obviously, the scenery is is in the daytime. But that was great fun. As I've said, a huge thank you to those of you who have flown alongside us tonight, and to all of you for watching. If you could please hit the like button on the way out for me, I would really, really appreciate that. It makes a massive difference to the channel if you do that, so please do hit the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and of course that notifications bell so you don't miss any more future live streams and video content. A huge thank you to those of you who have donated and contributed to the channel during the stream this evening. Really do appreciate that. It means a great deal to the channel. And of course to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members, thank you so much for your continued support. I think I'm going to take a leaf out of HD's book. He's off to open a beer. Me too. Hope you have a great Tuesday, guys. I'll see you for another live stream again very soon. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Cabin crew, you can now disarm the doors. Thank you. Cabin crew, aircraft is secured. You can open the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, I hope you have enjoyed your flight with us today here on Easyjet. On behalf of myself, the first officer, and the cabin crew, may we wish you a safe and pleasant journey from the airport, and we hope to see you again very soon. In order to increase the comfort of your next flight, please take a look at joining the Easyjetsimpilot channel, and we offer extra perks for those frequent flyers. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you once again for flying with Easyjet.